Hello everybody, Summy here. We're going to install a window today using Lightning Flash XL corners. They're a slightly larger corner. And we're going to use a wood window, so a little bigger window than we've been using lately. We're also going to use a house wrap product for our friends back east. Many people back there have asked us about how to use home wraps or house wraps. Today we're going to use Weathersmart by Fortifiber. But most house wrap products, the strategy is the same. And also on the inside, we're going to put a dam to the inside of our pan system. We're going to, of course, use a membrane pan like we always use. But this is a product that's 3/4 of an inch on one way and 1/2 inch on the other way. And we're going to use this on the inside to create our rear leg for our dam to manage all water towards the outside. It may not look like it, but this interior trim was especially designed for window dams. It's not the most complicated product in the world, but it is especially designed for use as an interior window dam. So no matter what kind of window you have, you could rotate it this way, or you could rotate it this way. Short leg up or tall leg up, either way works. And if you want to know how to get a hold of this, just check out the information below this video, or you can call our office anytime. We have many questions about an AMA A1 or a B1 method. And you may not know the difference, but essentially an A1 method, the side flashing goes on top of the nail fin, and on a B1 method, the side flashing goes under the nail fin. And we're going to demonstrate both for you here today, and you can choose whichever one that you like the best. Hope you get something out of this. We appreciate you watching. If you have any questions, you can call us anytime, 800-310-7673. You can shoot us an email, info@tlslabs.com. And thank you very much for watching.
This is Epi and Percy. You may recognize them from previous videos. And here's our mock-up assembly with the Weathersmart product completely covering the rough opening. A nice trick to cutting your Weathersmart correctly is to have squares of your flashing material and place them as Percy did and draw your diagonal lines above the rough opening. Percy drew his other lines so that when his razor knife follows his marks, the WRB will fold nicely onto the framing sill and into the opening, and then be temporarily taped above the opening, as you'll see here in a moment. The small squares that Percy used earlier made these diagonal lines properly sized. Now simply cut your WRB following the lines that you drew. The most important part of this process is temporarily holding the top flap of the WRB up. You do not want to install your window top nail fin on top of the WRB. Now, in the case of a stucco project, you're going to put a bib down so that some additional building paper can be layered under later. In some projects, you'll eliminate this bib if you only want one layer of WRB. Now Percy has applied some sealant in preparation for our Lightning Flash XL corners. As you can see here, they simply press into place, and a staple secures them until our SAF membrane is installed. And by the way, for you do-it-yourselfers, SAF membrane stands for self-adhered flashing. It's your peel and stick products. The WRB stands for weather resistive barrier, and it's your house wrap, in this case Weathersmart product. Now Percy marks a point up the wall from the framing sill that is the same dimension as the framing sill. This will allow the SAF membrane to completely cover the framing sill. As you will see in this video, we are believers that J-rollering your SAF membrane is extremely important to eliminate the wrinkles. And it gives us complete and thorough adhesion to the substrate. This is the way your pan system is shaping up. It looks great. All it needs is end dams.
All right, go ahead.
For the end dams, we cut a couple of pieces of Fortiflash into nice squares. And the squares will be used as end dams, just as you see Percy doing here. Once you've done this a couple of times, you'll find it's just as easy as Percy is making it look right here. Now this pan is looking really great. A large heavy window can be set into this rough opening without damaging the lower corners. This is where we have problems. That lower corner can have a fish mouth if flashing corners are not used. The Lightning Flash XL flashing corners were designed perfectly for this application, especially if you're going to have a large, heavy window, like a wood window or a commercial window, being set into the rough opening. I guess you could say we wear our feelings on our sleeves. The left side of our assembly will be an AMA B1 method, meaning the flashing will be under the nail fin. And this is how we apply our flashing on the left side, or the B1 method. It's very easy. My personal preference has always been for the B1 method over the A1 method, but I understand that east of Colorado it's very unusual to see a B1. Use whichever one you're comfortable with. Unless your window manufacturer tells you differently, use plastic, inorganic shims underneath your windows. These are called horseshoe shims, and we place them just like this with a little sealant. Percy marks 2 3-inch areas on the lower nail fin that will not receive sealant. Now if you have a window product that has a pivoting nail fin, it's very important to apply sealant to that pivot joint and then tool it into place. Make sure you do this even if the window manufacturer says you don't have to. Then put sealant on the outer edge of the nail fin. This will ensure complete squeeze out will exist around the nail fin. Unless your window manufacturer gives you different dimensions, apply your fasteners, screws or nails, 12 inches on center around the perimeter of your window, including the top nail fin. That squeeze out from behind the nail fin is exactly what you want to see. Many window manufacturers supply products like this, where the nail fin does not connect, so they supply chevrons to make the connection. Since I don't trust them, we put plenty of sealant behind our chevrons. Make sure that you always use your chevrons. Now on the right side of this window, we're going to do an A1 method. Since we're going to be applying an SAF membrane on top of our window, we're going to wipe away some of that sealant, and with some of that excess, we're going to cover our screw heads. Now we apply the SAF membrane and J-roller it onto our fin and substrate. Now comes the top flashing. Apply it just like this. If you're going to use a B1 method, then apply sealant on top of your nail fin and butter it flat, just like this. When you're done, your nail fin should look exactly like this. This looks great. If you prefer the A1 method, then apply sealant at the edge of your membrane, just like this, and tool it with your finger. This is very important because even the best applicators will get wrinkles, and we need to stop water from getting into those wrinkles. As you can see at the bottom of this window, we have 2 areas at the right and left without sealant. That's our path of least resistance. These areas allow water to escape if our window leaks. Now at the top, we layer our WRB onto the top of the window and tape our seams. We're using 3-inch strips of Fortiflash to tape our seams. This is our plastic material to create the inside leg of our dam. You simply cut this to size, dry fit it to make sure it fits, and then press it into wet sealant, as you see the guys doing here.
That's good.
This strategy and assembly requires that an interior dam be created so that the path of least resistance for any unintended water remained to the outside. So we applied sealant across the entire width of the window and then used our plastic piece, we're using the tall side up against the window. If it wouldn't have fit, we would have used the shorter side up against the window. But then it presses into place and looks just like this when it's done. Now we're going to apply an expansion foam that is especially designed for windows. It's a lower expansion foam, and it works great. We're going to apply it around the 3 remaining sides of this window. And then you know what? You're done. You did a great job. Thanks for watching.